Well, if I probably just said the word Doom alone, that would probably be enough for this review. Because let's be honest, we have all played Doom at least once in our lives. Now personally, I first played it on the XBLA version sometime in the early 2010s, so I did miss the whole rush of how revolutionary it was. I sort of just thought of it as another FPS. Now it's important to note that Doom started on the back of many 3D games before it, but the most famous one being Wolfenstein 3D. And it is important to note that the original Wolfenstein 3D and Doom did have one major difference that adds a huge sense of immersion. You see, while 3D was very flat in terms of level design, only allowing you to move on the X-axis, Doom would include the Y-axis alongside smaller things like no more sharp 90-degree corners. However, these 3D games weren't really 3D, they're actually using certain tactics to give the illusion of 3D, though this said illusion did allow for some limitations to occur. The most well-known of these being you can have two rooms stacked on top of each other, looking up wasn't possible, and while there is a Z-axis, unlike most sources say, it is very limited in its use. Now before we get fully into reviewing this game, I'm going to set some ground rules. Firstly, no source ports. We're just going to use the official version on Steam, which actually got a quality of life overhaul in 2019. Secondly, I'm going to stick to the original PC version. I do want to talk about the console ports, but only as a slight side mention, but who knows, maybe one day that can be its own video or whatever. And thirdly, I'll play the whole game on ultra violence difficulty, so I will be reviewing the game based off of that. There is a nightmare difficulty, but that was more just a joke difficulty John made to people who say ultra violence wasn't hard enough. The game itself followed an episodic formula with it being a form of shareware. This basically meant the first episode, Knee Deep in the Dead, was completely free. However, in order to access the next two episodes, The Shores of Hell and Inferno, he had to spend 40 Mobian rings on it. And later on in 1995, the Ultimate Doom was released, which included another episode called Thy Flesh Consumed. This was apparently made to make Doom one big standalone product, and to bridge the gap between the story in Doom 1 and Doom 2. Though when I'm thinking of Doom, mate, I'm not thinking of the story. I'm thinking of fast-paced gameplay, shooting demons in the face of loud mad-eye music in the background. Each episode has 9 levels, with one of them being the secret level. Each level contains weapons, monsters, items, and secrets, alongside many other things. In Doom there are 8 weapons: fists, chainsaw, pistol, shotgun, chain gun, rocket launcher, plasma rifle, and a BFG 9000. BFG, by the way, stands for Big F***ing Gun. Also, all the guns share ammo, apart from the rocket launcher and shotgun. Items can be found throughout the level, and these can consist of ammo, armor, and health packs. But there are a few special items called power-ups that are worth mentioning. Backpacks, which will double your current ammo storage. Berserk Pack will restore your health to full and greatly increases damage of your punches. Computer maps, which will completely fail the map, which I probably should have mentioned earlier. Invulnerability, which makes you, well, invulnerable to things for around half a minute. Go figure. Light Amplification Visor will make everything around you brighter for 2 minutes. Partial Invisibility makes you invisible for a little bit, but honestly I didn't notice much of a difference. And lastly, there's the Radiation Shielding Suit, which allows you to walk on areas you would normally get hurt on without it. Sometimes. Now in terms of enemies, I'm going to split into 2 categories: hit scanners and projectile types. Hit scanners, as soon as they hit the fire button, will hit you if you are under line of sight, while projectile enemies take a little bit for their attack to reach you. Hit scanners can be annoying at sometimes, but it's not nearly as bad as something like Wolfenstein 3D. That game is hit scan to hell. Also, every level has doors. That may not sound surprising, but I promise it's kinda interesting. Sometimes doors require you to find a keycard earlier in the level, and there are 3 kinds of them, also having a skull version. Each will contain secrets, which can range from a couple of ammo boxes to accessing a secret level. And at the end of each level, you get a completion score telling you how well you did. You don't get any reward for collecting everything this stage, but because I feel bad, here you go. Now I was going to have a section where I review every level in the game, but instead I'll just give a quick review of each episode. Knee Deep in the Dead is the first one, and it feels good to play and introduces all the mechanics in a way that's easy to understand. The Shores of Hell is up next, and honestly, I'm not a big fan. This one is a lot slower and contains a lot more backtracking than I usually like. Now yes, Doom does have a lot of sections where you are backtracking, but this one has to the point where I feel like I'm just running around in circles in some areas. Inferno also has a maze-like element, and yet again, I feel like at times I'm just running around in circles, but at least it's faster than the Shores of Hell. And lastly, Thy Flesh Consumed, which, like I mentioned earlier, was made to connect the story between Doom 1 and 2. I thought this would have been a good idea to add some of Doom 2's weapons and monsters into Doom 1 since they are running on the same engine, but no. It's pretty much just a collection of harder levels that are around late Doom 2 level difficulty, and feel pretty fun but can be annoying to play at sometimes. Doom also revolutionized multiplayer, with the game having both deathmatch and co-op. Now, for some reason, the 25th anniversary version only has local multiplayer. There's a mod called Zandronia which allows for online, but it's so weird, especially since the XBLA versions had online multiplayer, and those were released in 2011. Speaking of which, let's talk about the ports. Now, I'm not going to go into all the Doom ports, but instead I just want to talk about how many ports exist. There are already 14 ports officially made by id Software to consoles, but let's not forget about source ports like GZ Doom as well. They themselves released the source code in late 1997. Because of that, Doom has been ported to anything with a processor on the screen. Smart fridges, gaming watches, even f***ing pregnancy tests. You can play Doom on everything and anything as long as it exists. I think the Doom ports deserve their own video, but that may not be for a while. Now that is all I have to say about the first Doom. However, I would be lying if I said I even scratched the surface of how influential this game is. I haven't even talked about the fan mods or other games it's revolutionized. Well, I have talked about Half-Life, but that's something I did in another video. First thing to say, I will be definitely checking out more 90s shooters in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.